Hello everyone, this is SL Kadam, your teacher of English. I hope you are doing well. In the last class, we started discussing the text. On to the summit, we reached the top. We discussed a lot in icebreaker section. Three activities we discussed. What are the ways of climbing, different activities while doing climbing, then what are the requirements for going for expedition like climbing, then what may be the hazards or what may be the dangers or the threats, possible threats while going for any adventurous task. It means especially here climbing. All these things we discussed in detail. I hope you have got all these things and you are ready to study or ready to learn the text. On to the summit, we reach the top. Yesterday I told you what is the meaning of summit. Summit means the top of the mountain, the zenith point, the apex of the mountain, the peak point of the mountain. Okay, so how the writer with his friend Edmund Hillary reached the top of the Mount Everest, what hardships they faced, how they planned, how they executed the plan, how meticulously they made the arrangements, how carefully they took care of all these things. We are going to discuss, and what they felt after reaching, what were their feelings after reaching the top. We are going to discuss. I remember one quotation here regarding top or reaching to the top. Everybody likes to reach the top, and it is general perception. But what is important, reaching to the top is quite easy, but staying there consistently is the most difficult thing. One or the other day you would also reach the top of your life, the zenith point of your life, but staying there consistently, it means consistently performing well, that is more important. In cricket or in any game, you might have noticed that some teams, just like Australian team, it won World Cup many times, consecutively 3 times I would say. But afterwards, the team lost its charm or its space, and then somebody other, it means somebody else occupied that place. So this happens generally. So it is very important to reach the top, no doubt, but at the same time to stay there, that is very important. Stay there continuously, it is quite difficult and challenging. For that you need to work very hard, you need to be very consistent in your work, and in that way you can stay there forever. Okay, let us start with the brief introduction of the writer Tenzing Norgay. He was born on 29 May 1914, and he died on 9th May 1986. He died in Darjeeling, which is in West Bengal, everybody knows, but he was born in Nepal. He was groomed by his parents there, therefore he said that he belongs to Nepal as well as to India. Okay, known by birth as Namgyal Wangdi and often referred to as Sherpa Tenzing. Sherpa is the name of a community that lives in Nepal. Nepal is a very friendly country, especially with us, with India. We consider Nepal as much as India. It means we are. It means we are in a good relationship with Nepal. The bond of relationship is very strong. Therefore I have mentioned it is a friendly country. So people roam in Nepal freely, it means Indian people can roam in Nepal freely, and there people also come to India fearlessly. So that is the attachment. Therefore it is said he was a Nepali Indian Sherpa mountaineer. Nepali Indian means he must have spent his part of life in Nepal, and it means his last days in India. Therefore it is said Nepali Indian. And there is one word here, mountaineer. I have been using mountaineer word many times. Many of you might have failed that what is mountaineer. Mountaineer, Mountainer, I-N-E-E-R, mountaineer. You know, just like a cricketer, a singer, then a swimmer, okay, then teacher. So what are these words? These are the words which are derived from profession. What is the profession of a cricketer? Cricket. What is the profession of a swimmer? Swimming. What is the profession of a teacher? Teaching. So mountaineer, who is called as mountaineer? The person whose profession is mountaineering. Whose profession is mountaineering means who works in that profession. It means who is a skilled person and he thinks about that work 24 into 7. That is called as mountaineer. Okay, so he was a mountaineer, and he was one of the first two individuals known to reach the summit of Mount Everest. This is very important statement. I have told you while discussing that activity sheet, there is language study, and in language study I have told you that you would be asked some sentences of grammar or spotting the error. You read here, what is the sentence? He was one of the first two individuals known to reach the summit of Mount Everest. One of the first two individuals. Whenever you see the phrase one of the, after one of the, you have to use noun in plural form. Remember, you should not say in this way. Remember how you should not say Chennai Super Kings is one of the best team. If I say one of the best team in IPL, it's a blunder, it's a mistake. And I have I have noticed so many students, even so-called learned people, make such kind of mistakes. It's a blunder, I would say, to use singular noun after one of the. Always you have to use one of the plus plural noun. It means Chennai Super Kings is one of the best teams. What I said, teams, teams in the IPL. Delhi is one of the most polluted cities in India. Delhi is one of the most polluted cities in India. I should not say Delhi is one of the most polluted city in India. You cannot use one of the with singular noun. It's a blunder. Okay, so I always say that while speaking, while writing, we should try to make less errors. Okay, of course you would make errors, you would make mistakes. You are born to make mistakes, one has to make mistakes, but you should learn from the mistakes. If you don't learn from the mistakes, then you can't grow. Remember, mistakes are inevitable. You have to commit the mistakes, but learn from them. Okay, so spotting the error, in spotting the error, you would have such kind of sentences. You should be able to find out what may be the error there. Individuals, s is there, that suffix s is used. Known to reach the summit of Mount Everest, which he accomplished with Edmund Hillary on 29 May 1953. See, 29 May 1953. If you see here the tense, which he accomplished, new word, it may be for you. Accomplished means achieved, acquired or succeeded, got something here. Accomplished, ACCOMPLISHED, very famous word. It is very frequently used. Accomplished, when you achieve something with a lot of hard work, then this word can be used. Accomplished with Edmund Hillary on 29 May 1953. Now what I want to tell you here, accomplished is a simple past tense. Tenses, there are 12 tenses, main 3 tenses, and here you see here he accomplished word. It means subject he and accomplished. These two things are very important here, subject and verb. See what the tense is used. He accomplished with Edmund Hillary on 29 May 1953. It means, what is the grammar here? What is important thing here? Whenever you want to mention the past time, it means the date of past time or year of past time, then you have to use, or you must use, you ought to use only and only simple past tense. You should not ever say what? You should not say that I have passed SSC in 2020 or in 2019 or in 2018. You cannot use have passed, it means present perfect tense, with past time. It's a blunder again, and that is committed by many people, so called people. So be careful, that is also an error. Okay, here check. You must be a good observer, remember. You must be a keen observer, I would say. When you read, you should consider, you should think that what is the tense use, what type of sentence it is it complex, is it simple, is it compound. Okay, analytical way must be there. You must look at the sentences in an analytical way. That will help you to understand the things. Okay, I always say speaking English is very easy, but speaking correct English is quite difficult for many people. Okay, speaking correct English consistently, having all time that sense in mind, it's quite challenging for us, for Indian people. Why? Because we think in our mother tongue sometimes, and we try to speak as we feel. So therefore we make mistakes. For that, you have, I told you yesterday, for that you have to read newspapers, you should keep listening news, and you should think whatever you entertain, it means whatever you watch, whatever you listen, that must be in English. The more you spend time in the company of this language, the more learned you would get, I would say, and you would make less mistakes. I am not against making mistakes, huh? Keep in mind, I don't want to say that someone should be perfect, or I am perfect, or XYZ is perfect, but we should try to reach the perfection. That should be our mindset. Okay, so that I wanted to tell you here. Simple past always comes with what? Tense. It means time here, past time, sorry. So you can never say that I watched or I enjoyed any movie. Sorry, that is the mistake actually. I have seen, or I have watched any movie yesterday, or I have gone to, or I have visited Shimla in the last summer. Here, have visited Shimla in the last summer, this last summer phrase cannot be used with have visited, remember. So what should be the sentence? I visited Shimla in the last summer. I enjoyed movie in the last week. I enjoyed movie in the last week means I watched movie in the last week. Meaning maybe same, but little bit change is there due to the use of tenses. Effect is different little bit. Remember. So keep in mind the tense. Here you would say, or you would see here the table, the achievements, the medals which Tenzing Norgay received at the hands of many presidents of concerned countries. Okay, I have told you, I think, Tenzing Norgay is considered in Time magazine. It means he is named in Time. Time is a very famous magazine. It is one of the most esteemed magazines of the world. Very reputed magazine, esteemed magazine. So his name appeared in that magazine, and what the Time says, he is one of the 100 most influential people of 20th century. It means why he is considered as influential person, because he has encouraged, he has motivated, he has instigated the people to do something miraculous, something Hercules, remember, something heroic, something legendary. That is very important. Okay, therefore he is considered as one of the most influential people of 20th century. Time magazine has considered his achievement. That is really an appreciable thing. So what are his achievements? What are the medals received by him? You see here the table: honor, medal, honored by, and for. He got Tiger medal in 1938 by Himalayan Club for his third Everest expedition. It means many times he tried to reach Everest, Mount Everest, but some smaller mountains of Mount Everest, it means that range he might have achieved. Star of Nepal, 1953, King Tribhuvan, all accomplishment. Just like in India, we have Bharat Ratna. Nepal, government of Nepal may confer that award to such people who do something miraculous. Star of Nepal, King of Nepal awarded him with that for all his accomplishments. And this is interesting, government of India also recognized, acknowledged his contributions or his achievements, and government India conferred him Padma Bhushan in 1959 for all his accomplishments. Therefore I mention his name comes in Time. Okay, Time means in Time magazine. Tenzing describes the climb to the top and all events occurred during the historic climb. In this article, Tenzing has described all his experiences, the chain of events, then the difficulties he has narrated. It's interesting to read. The article also describes what brought him to climbing mountains. Why he became a mountaineer, and how he pursued that profession wholeheartedly. That is being discussed in this text. So this is a short introduction of Tenzing Norgay. You would see his picture, his pic is there in black and white. And if you want to know more about him, you can Google it. You can get information over Wikipedia about his personal life, about his grooming, his early days. Okay, all these things can be handled over Wikipedia. Let us read, let us see what is in the text. On to the summit we reach the top. We means, his friend Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. Let us see. When we left Camp 9 on Friday morning, I was determined to get the top on this day. We left means Tenzing with his friend Edmund Hillary. When they left on Friday morning, he was determined. This sentence indicates his conviction, his determination, his commitment. He wanted to reach the top at any cost. He was desperate to do that, desperate to achieve that. Desperation word you might have observed, or you might have felt. You might have noticed the desperation of Virat Kohli on the field, how much passionate he is about cricket or about that game. That is called as desperation. When you want to achieve something very hard, or earnestly at any cost, that is called as desperation. Okay, when you are hungry, suppose throughout the day you haven't taken anything and you are very hungry, you want to eat. Okay, when you are too much hungry, at that time you are desperate to get the food, to have the food. That is called as desperation. So he was determined to get to the top on this day. That morning I remember thinking, I was to get to the top even if I die. How striking this sentence is. When one can feel in that way, see, very beautiful sentence it is. I was to get to the top even if I die. When you say that, when you feel that, when one can think in this way, okay, I will win or I will die. That is a very famous sentence. I will win or I will die. When one can feel in this way, when your purpose is more precious, when your goal is more precious than your existence, than your life. Okay, when you are driven by your goal, when your goal is your passion, when you are obsessed means, when you are haunted by your target, when you become mad to achieve that, when you become crazy to get that, then you think in this way. Okay, that is called as obsession, becoming crazy. When you are restless, when you want to have it at any cost, when you think about that thing 24/7, that is called as obsession. Okay, so Tenzing Norgay might have been obsessed with that goal, with that target to reach the top. Therefore, he has mentioned, even if I die, I would accept death happily, but I would not go back. Okay, I would not pull back. I am ready to pay any price for achieving the task, for achieving my goal. That is the conviction, that is the determination made by him. That might be his self-talk. Self-talk is very important. How you talk to yourself day in and day out, that is very important, because that makes you what you want. How you help yourself. Okay, this is very important. I was not afraid to die that day. This is very again interesting sentence. I was not afraid to die that day. It means he became fearless. Okay, even death cannot or could not stop him from doing that. The moment you become fearless, you are sure to create history. Okay, it means you would become successful, you would overcome any challenge when you are ready to embrace death. See how the soldiers, you know, Indian soldiers especially, when they choose uh, that profession, serving Indian army, what is their profession? What is the profession of a soldier? Killing or getting killed? Killing the enemies or to get killed by the enemies. That is their profession. And they have chosen that wholeheartedly. They don't get scared by death, because they know that is an integral part of their profession. Death may come at any moment. Okay, therefore they are fearless. We are not fearless. We get scared by death all time, and therefore we can't do anything, and therefore we are called as common people. Remember. Okay, and this sentence, I was not afraid to die that day. We set out early, and all the way from camp 9 to the peak we alternated. Alternated means changing places. You know, every day they would rest somewhere, wherever as per the plan they would reach, they would rest there by staying over the night. Early morning they would leave the place. So on earlier day they stayed at camp 9, and on the next day, that means on Friday, they started to again reach nearer to the top of the Mount Everest. So alternative means changing place. Every day they would change the places. Throughout the day they would work hard, they would keep climbing, and would reach at a certain place, decided place, and there they would take rest. So that happened. Okay, then what happened? I would take the lead, and then Hillary. Lead means, sometimes he would be ahead, Hillary, and other time Hillary would be ahead of Tenzing. Lead means, to lead from the front. Sometimes he would be ahead, he would stand in front of Hillary, and in this way they would proceed. The man who follows when climbing has a difficult job both in climbing up and climbing down. I have told you both are very difficult things. Climbing, especially the mountains like Mount Everest or any other challenging mountain, it's a challenging task, very difficult task, troublesome thing. So both in climbing up and climbing down, that would be a troublesome thing for the leader. He is the anchor. Very beautiful word. It is anchor. Many of you must have heard the word anchor. It is not that anchor who hosts any program or function. Here anchor means the support, the principal support. He who was the anchor for Tenzing Norgay, Edmund Hillary. Okay, that was the support for him. Okay, and the man going in the lead cuts at the steps and breaks the way. Cuts the steps and breaks the way. Cuts the steps and breaks the way means the man. It means sometimes I have mentioned Edmund Hillary would lead. So what would be his job? He would make the way ready for his friend, and it means he would prepare the way. He would get the way ready for climbing. He would cut the steps. He would clear the things. He would break the way properly, and in this way they would proceed. They would go ahead. Okay. In my pocket, I had 4 flags. Who had 4 flags? Tenzing Norgay. This is simple past tense. Had 4 flags. If I ask you, many students get confused when they are asked what is the tense in this sentence. I had four flags. What would be the general answer? Students say it is past perfect tense. As soon as students see had, they feel it is past perfect tense. No, it's not past perfect tense. It is simple past tense. Had here used as a main verb. Had means here what? He was carrying, okay, possessing something, having something. Okay, so I had four flags. That is simple past tense. Had is the main verb here, and it is in V2 form. It means second form of the verb. Then, when we were still at Camp 4, Colonel Hunt gave me three flags. See the spelling of Colonel. Interesting. Colonel. He was carrying three flags initially. It means then he got the remaining. When we were still at Camp 4, Colonel Hunt gave me three flags. He has told us that he had four flags. Okay, how he got four flags, we will come to know. But initially, Colonel Hunt, who was Colonel Hunt? The leader of that expedition. Under his supervision, under his advice, under his guidance, these two men, these two mountaineers were trying to reach the top of Mount Everest. So, which were the flags he was carrying? Hunt gave me three flags, those of Britain, the United Nations, and Nepal. Now you would wonder, why would Tenzing Norgay carry flag of Britain, United Nations? It means Britain must have sponsored that expedition. The expenditure which was required for that expenditure might have been sponsored by Britain and by United Nations. As he belonged to Nepal, Nepal was his motherland, therefore he carried that flag. Okay, he charged me with the duty of planting them on the top of the world. See the word charged. Charged means what here? He was given the responsibility, ethical responsibility here. What was the ethical responsibility? To plant. To plant means here to anchor or to hoist these flags at the top of the Mount Everest. National flag is the pride of every citizen of any country. So he was told, as soon as you reach the top, both of you should hoist these three flags. Who was told? Tenzing Norgay. By whom? By Colonel Hunt. Okay, these three flags are in your care. In your care means in your custody now. You are responsible for carrying these flags safely at the top of the mountain, and I have given you the task to hoist those flags there. Okay, he said, when you and Hillary reach the top, put them at the peak. Put them at the peak means here zenith of the Mount Everest. At the top of the Mount Everest, hoist the flag, fly the flag, it means. I'm sure that you and Hillary are going to do it. See, Colonel Hunt, I have told you, the leader of the expedition, was deadly confident that this duo or these two individuals, these two mountaineers, would definitely hit the target successfully. They would complete that expedition successfully. When one can say with this much confidence, when you know that the person is well aware, well experienced, well trained, and confident, you would say that it would certainly happen and the person would complete that assignment. Okay, I told Colonel Hunt that I was carrying the Indian flag with me and I would like to be on the top with the other flags. Now this is interesting. Why? Why would Tenzing Norgay carry Indian flag? I have told you, India and Nepal are friendly countries, and Indian government must have assisted, must have helped, or he might have got too much help by the people of India while in his early days or he might have got trained in India. So therefore he had a certain kind of affinity with India, and with solidarity or to express gratitude towards this country, towards our country, it means towards India, he might have carried Indian flag, or he planned to carry Indian flag. So he asked, or he took the permission from Colonel Hunt to carry Indian flag. Okay, I told Colonel Hunt that I was carrying the Indian flag with me. I would like to be on the top with the other flags. I had to ask Colonel Hunt's permission in his capacity as leader of the expedition. I have told you who is the leader of the expedition. Leader here, Colonel Hunt. Okay, so this is how the initial things writer has mentioned here. How was he determined to achieve that thing, and how much desperate he was to become successful, and what the preparations they made, and how as a team they were proceeding towards the target. Okay, how he got the success. I told you that word desperation. When one can achieve success, or when success can be yours, there is one statement. Okay, when you want to achieve success as much as you want to breathe, you are sure to succeed. Remember, once again I would say, when you want to achieve success as much as you want to breathe, then you are sure to succeed. Okay, so that was his desperation. The earlier two sentences, that he was ready to die, he was ready to sacrifice his life for achieving that task, that indicates his desperation, his commitment, his determination. It means he was completely obsessed with that thing. Anyhow, he wanted to achieve that. He was not concerned of death too. And therefore he created history. He has become legend, tycoon, icon for all of us. And therefore Time magazine has given him place in the list of 100 influential people. This is very interesting. So what happens after this, and how they proceeded, how they moved ahead, what problems they faced. Okay, after reaching the top of the Mount Everest, what they felt, how they hoisted the flag, how they enjoyed, how they celebrated the success, we are going to discuss in the next session, in the next class. Keep reading. If you have any doubt, you can ask me on my personal number. Okay, keep reading the text, get the meanings of difficult words, and stay in touch with me. Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice day.